Hello everyone and welcome back. So today's video is the June 2025 Mani Me polish swatch comparisons for VHS Violet and Beeper Buzz. So I didn't have a whole lot similar to these, and I was actually really surprised at how different from what I had already. So the problem I ran into with Beeper Buzz was that none of the yellows were bright enough but soft enough at the same time. So I have bright yellows, and I have a very large percentage of Maniology's stamping polishes. Before, the only ones that I'm missing were discontinued before I could get a chance to get them, which would be before the year of 20. I want to say that not much before the year of 2018 I would be missing. No, probably say 2019. Not much before the 2019 year I'd be missing. Anything past 2019 I pretty much have the bulk of, and I have a decent amount from before 2019. One of which is right here. This is Jungle Mirage. I have over 300, I have almost 400 stamping polishes, and maybe a dozen of which are not, at most 2 dozen, is not Maniology. So out of all of those colors, I only found 2 remotely close to Beeper Buzz, and even then they're still quite different. And I had a similar situation with VHS Violet, where the closest one I found is a thermal one, and it is discontinued for looks inside the bottle. Now, of course, until we swatch them, we won't know what they look like in comparison. But outside of a swatch, literally the closest one was Frigid, which is this one, and it is a thermal, so it changes color based off of temperature. And then the next closest was Sassy, which is a darker, and this has a slight green hue but is just as bright. This one is more pastel-y and less bright, but is a very similar color. Everything that was bright, like Beeper Buzz, was super dark, bright yellow. Pull some samples. For instance, Pencils Down. Look how much darker. It's just as bright, but it's a lot darker. Another good example is Winnie. It's soft, but it's not as bright. Let's see, Honeydew is probably another one. It's just too dark, but it's just as bright. So that was the common conundrum I found myself in, and it was the same way with purple. I found myself finding that this particular type of purple, there just wasn't a whole lot of it. It was either sparkly, or it was thermal, or it was just too dark or too light. So there was a lot less to compare than what I had anticipated. As part of why when I unboxed it, I thought I would have more than what I did, but it's also why I didn't mention, because I wasn't sure with that yellow. I thought I would have more than what I did. Now, I can tell you right now that this says BMC because it was before they rebranded, okay? They used to be called Bones and Monster Corporation, and it is the same company. In fact, I have a few colors where I can literally show you that they're the exact same color, just different bottle. Alright, so we are going to go ahead and get into this. I have already prepped my swatch sticks, so we're going to go in with Beeper Buzz and start our swatching. Hi, Topaz, my sweet jingle baby. You gonna barky at me? Yeah? Love you too. Can you lay down? Thank you. Good job. Oh yeah, that's a lot like Jungle Mirage. That may be their way of bringing it back. Okay. All right, so now we're going to go in, apply our stamps. I did reasonably well over the black. Ooh, sweet baby. I love you too. And now over the white, very bright over the white. Let's go ahead and do the full polish swatch parts. What, my sweet jingle boy? Okay. Let's go ahead and swatch on the mat so we can compare it to the other colors. That did not pick up nicely. Let's try it again. Actually clean the plate this time. I was being risky. I was trying to not have to clean my plate yet. Okay. So that is Beeper Buzz. Now we're going to go ahead and put Jungle Mirage and what was the other one I grabbed? Buttercup. I kept wanting to say Winnie and I knew it wasn't Winnie. Now Jungle Mirage has a hint of green to it. And I think that's where the biggest difference is going to be between these two colors. But dang, those are close. And I'm pretty sure this is a discontinued one too, but if it's one that you already have, it would make a decent substitute. Those are really close. Scarily so. It's just a hint of green to Jungle Mirage, hence the jungle in it. Alright, Buttercup. Too yellowy. Not bright enough. It's too soft. It's got that creamy, like literal, like cream, butter type look to it. And it's the color of butter. Sorry about that, guys. Oh, my sweet little topaz. Oh my goodness, I spun the chair just enough that I could put the cotton ball in the trash can. I'm sorry. Where's you, my old boy? Where's you too, baby? So I'm going to quickly pay the cat tax. We have Topaz being a needy boy. So is the sweet baby. All right, so now we're going to get close to these colors here for comparison purposes. And I don't even have to get super close to see that Buttercup is way, way different. But look how close these two are, guys. Okay, so here's Beeper Buzz. Here's Beeper Buzz. And here's Jungle Mirage. So, as you can see, they are very, very close. This just is a hint more green to it, and over black, it's almost identical. So if you've already got Jungle Mirage, that is a decent substitute. But look at this. Winnie is way more yellow. Way more yellow. It's almost like a butter, almost cheese colored. So way different. And all the others were the same way. Like in the bottle, you could tell they were way different. So, yeah, that is Beeper Buzz. So let's go ahead and get that cleaned up. And then we will get into Violet, VHS Violet, which is the next one. I'm sorry, Topaz, you're shedding. I know it's summer, baby. I can't help that when I pet you, fur flies around and gets in your ears and irritates you. I'm sorry, bud. So we are going to go ahead in just a moment and start swatching our beloved purples. Hopefully Frigid doesn't give me any fits about picking up like it sometimes does. Something about the thermal ones, they can be finicky about pickup. Hi, Kyle.
Hi.
There, get the last of that.
Hello. Hi.
So now that we have our yellows, we can get into our purple. So I have my swatch stick here for the VHS Violet. And we will go ahead and swatch the top. That is a very nice purple. I do like this. Okay, so we're gonna go in on the stick. Over the black and then the white. Ooh, I love that over the black. Anybody who's been watching my channel for a while knows I love purple. Oh, that's pretty. This is a very nice purple. Okay, so let's clean the plate and stamp down on the mat so we can start our comparisons. I was really surprised at how few purples went with this one. I thought I had more, but most of them were just too dark or too light. Okay. So there's VHS Violet. Now we're going to grab Frigid. Moment of Truth. Can I get it to pick up nicely? This is the one that was notorious for giving me fits. I love this color too, which is the sad part. I think it has something to do with the thermal pigments. I really do. They had two different thermal stamping polishes once upon a time. They had Frigid, and then they had Witch's Brew. I do have both. If they had any before that, I do not know. I have not heard of it. This is the only ones that I am aware of currently. And Sassy. This one's going to be too dark. I can already see it now. Just by looking at the tops side by side. Yep. Too dark. Way too dark. Clean my plate. So now that we are done stamping, don't want to make a mess. Okay, so the think of some of the other purples. Marzipan was too dark too. See, here's one that would have been similar in color, but it's shiny. This is the problem I ran into. And that's an iridescent, it's not a cream. Here's another cream that I thought this was marzipan. Way different. If you look at the top. This one's more gray. This one's much brighter. And Bluebell was one that I looked at, but it was too light. And let's see. Bliss was too light. It was way too light to start with. I didn't even try to pull it, but I do need to get that sticker back on it before it falls off. Inside drawer. Where was the other one I looked at? So you guys can see what I was talking about. I missed that one. That one's actually very close. Okay, I don't think this one's available anymore, but I will swatch it for you guys. This is Purple Prince. I missed it because of its size. Grab scraper, stamper. And this one came in a starter kit. A really long time ago. Okay, I found the close one. I found it. I found it. Purple Prince. I was gonna say, I could have swore I had one that looked like that. I found it though. See what it looks like over black in comparison to that. Does not look the same over black. Does over white though. It's very close over white. Okay, so Purple Prince in here does look very close. Now over black, not as much. But so you have one that is not a thermal that I missed somehow. That looks a lot like it. Like I said, that bottle is very small and I forgot I had it. And I missed it because it's the back of the drawer. So yes, there is one similar, but it is a discontinued. If you already have it, then it is a good substitute. So with that being said, those are the only colors that I have near it. And I hope that this was helpful for you guys for this month's polishes on how close to ones that you may already own or ones that you already had like on your wish list, and because these aren't available until middle of next month, and you need that color now or something like it now, those are good substitutes. Frigid isn't too terrible bad of a substitute, but keep in mind, like I said, if you have that one and you do use it, you probably already know that it is a thermal and it may not have the effect you are going for. And Jungle Mirage is a very old color. So unless you are somebody who has been gathering stamping products for many, many years, that's really not going to be of much help to you. It is, as far as I know, a discontinued color. So, would not be a good substitute for those of you who are relatively new. This is a very nice yellow for if you are looking for a softer, bright yellow. Something that's not necessarily neon yellow, but it's almost like a neon pastel. That is essentially what this yellow is. And it is pretty unique. The purple is a little less unique, but the yellow is much more unique as far as Maniology stamping polishes go. So I hope you all found this helpful. I hope that you all are having a good morning, afternoon, evening, night, whatever it may be, wherever you're at while you're watching this video. And until next time, guys, thank you all for watching. Bye.